Did you get to enjoy Divine Mercy Sunday yesterday? Or maybe the virtual chaplet with Bishop Olesic yesterday afternoon at 3? Well, if you did, that's wonderful. And if you didn't, we're going to talk a little bit more about Divine Mercy and Sister Faustina today on Heart to Heart with Deacon Mike. So yesterday was Divine Mercy Sunday, and Bishop Olesic and the Diocese of Greensburg did a wonderful job in explaining about Divine Mercy and Bishop Olesic praying the chaplet. And so I thought I would reflect a little bit on Sister Faustina and how this came about and my own thoughts and maybe what we can take away from this Divine Mercy and what she went through. See, the world was in the midst of a Great Depression in 1931, and the memories of World War I were still very much alive in the minds of Europeans, when in Poland, a sister of the Congregation of Sisters of Our Lady of Mercy, Sister Faustina Kowalska, is said to have been personally visited by Jesus. And according to her diary, which was listed on the Index of Forbidden Books for more than 20 years, an image was revealed to her of the risen Lord, from whose heart shone two rays, one red, representing blood, and the other pale, symbolizing water, with the words at the bottom, "Jesus, I trust in you." Sister Faustina wrote in her diary that Jesus told her, "I promise that the soul that will venerate this image will not perish." When she was canonized in 2000 under the direction of Pope John Paul II, he proclaimed that the second Sunday of Easter would henceforth be known as Divine Mercy Sunday, and thereby promoting the devotional practices associated with Faustina's visions, already popular in many places. See, Sister Faustina was a poorly educated daughter of a humble Polish family, and she kept a 600-page diary of the apparitions she claimed to continue for years. Her entries focused on God's mercy, the call to accept God's mercy, and to be merciful, and certainly the need for conversion, and a call to, of course, trust in Jesus. It had been Jesus' own wish, she wrote, to establish a feast day. Jesus desires that the feast of mercy be a refuge and a shelter for all souls. He said, "I'm giving them the last hope of salvation, that is, the feast of my mercy." Now, among the practices associated with the devotion are its novena, the Chaplet of Divine Mercy, and it's a series of prayers organized similar to the Rosary at the great hour of mercy, and that's at 3 p.m., a time of prayer. And also, on that day, a plenary indulgence granted to those who receive the Eucharist and celebrate reconciliation. See, Sister's road for this to come about, the Divine Mercy, was a tough one. The universal recognition and the devotion was really, like I said, tough. It wasn't smooth. Sister Faustina's diary, which she claimed Jesus himself has asked her to keep, had been previously listed on the Index of Forbidden Books. It curtailed the exercise of the devotional practices, and detractors claimed that her writings contained theological errors, while her defenders attributed mistakes to a faulty translation from Polish to Italian. While the diary is no longer on the index, and her canonization has officially put away concerns regarding the orthodoxy of her writings, of course there still remains critics. So as I reflected on all of this, I wanted to tell a story. So early last week, I think it was Sunday night, Monday night, I went to sleep. And as I was laying in bed trying to fall asleep, I started listening to some spiritual music. And I fell asleep, and I had a dream. And in this dream, I remember that I was in church and it was time for me to read the gospel. And as I took the book of the Gospels up to the ambo, I couldn't find the reading. Everything was all in disarray. And it was interesting. The church was dark. It was like almost pitch black. But there were some people there I knew. I'm not sure if it was Easter Vigil or what it was. But it was interesting. I noticed all the church was dark. So I apologized, stepped away from the ambo, and found the gospel reading. Don't know what gospel reading it was, but I just remember that I had to find the gospel reading. So I found the reading, went back up to the ambo, and again, the gospel wasn't there. So again, I stepped away, and looking through the gospel, the pages started to fuse together. I could see like almost like not a flame, but the ember of these pages fusing together. And at that point, the devil appears. And he's pointing his finger at my chest, saying to me, "You'll never read the gospel to the people, because if you do, it'll console them." And I just remember taking the book of the gospel and pounding it on the devil's chest over and over again. And at that point, I couldn't remember what I was saying until this past weekend. A good friend of ours, a Passionist priest, Father Enzo, had the Divine Mercy Chaplet, and he had a reflection, and we said the chaplet. I think this was Saturday. Interesting enough, his ordination, his anniversary, is on Divine Mercy. And as we were saying the chaplet, it hit me what I was saying, because when I woke up from that dream, I was saying, "Jesus, I trust in you." I said it 3 times, and my chest was just heaving. And in the dream, I couldn't remember what I was saying, but it didn't occur to me until we were saying the chaplet with Father Enzo, what I was saying with the book of the Gospels pounding on the devil's chest. I've never had a dream like this, so was it a dream, or, was it telling me something? I don't know. But one thing I do remember is over and over again saying, "Jesus, I trust in you." And it made me think about the situation we're in, dealing with this virus, people dying, people at home, people stir crazy. But, it's this dream telling us that we truly need to trust in him in this whole chaotic time we're living in. I think we need to really open our hearts to trust in Jesus. I think that's this point of this chaplet, is to, as Sister Faustina said, to trust in him. "Jesus, I trust in you," and to come back to him. And, over these past few weeks, being at home and being secluded, and, some people are completely alone, others have their family members. But, I've seen how many people have spent time praying, going to the virtual masses on Sundays, the thousands of people watching the Mass with the Bishop on Sundays, and our Masses during the week with each one of our parishes. I think maybe, just maybe, we are starting to turn back to God in this time. And I hope and pray that this continues, we often wonder what is normal going to be once we get out of this. And I hope it doesn't go back to the normalcy that we had before this. I hope and pray that we will be more kind, more patient, and more loving, as Jesus asked us to do. And we turn toward God constantly, saying to Him, Jesus, I trust in you. So as we continue our social distancing, maybe what we can do every night, or when you have time, when you pray, just say those words 3 times. Maybe while you're lying in bed before you go off to sleep. Jesus, I trust in you. Jesus, I trust in you. Jesus, I trust in you. So, from Holy Family Parish, this is Deacon Mike Orange, and I wish you a good day. Peace.